for Cleveland tonight. But anyways, though, I do want to get into our first topic. First topic on the night tonight is LeBron James making some pretty interesting comments the other day when asked about the greatest athlete, I guess, of all time. He was asked the prospects of that being Tom Brady. And I'm trying to bring the article up right now. However,
here, I got you.
You got it?
Yeah.
Do you have his?
Yeah. You want me to read the quotes?
Yeah, read the quote.
Okay. Okay. Come on, load, damn it. You're hogging all the bandwidth with that, 4 locations streaming, you jerk. All right. So, when asked, after I watched, asked by, LeBron James was asked by this reporter, after watching Tom Brady win the Super Bowl, it made me start to think, only thing that marks the greatness is consistency over a long period of time. This actually is a quote from Maverick Carter, LeBron's best friend and business partner. And also to add on to that, LeBron was quoted as saying, just as a basketball player, the pounding you take running both sides. I got to play defense. Oh shit, I got to back on, go back and go down the floor on offense. Oh shit, I got to get back on defense. Oh shit, I got back and go up the floor on offense. As physical as football is on the body, I know it's crazy on the body, but for a quarterback, and for Patriots coach Bill Belichick does a great job of implementing 5 guys in front to protect that asset. For us basketball players, every single night you got to play both sides. We both played football. Offense has never really talked to defense all week. We don't have to speak to you at all. When I even played football offensively, I tried never to talk to the defensive side. I never even talked to y'all. I ain't talked to nothing. Ain't nothing to talk about. I'm sitting down on the bench and like, oh, turnover. Oh, where's my helmet? You remember that. I'm not saying he's not great. He's the greatest football player of all time. I don't, and then Brady was asked why, James was asked for what it was worth. Brady agrees much of what James said. He said the last month explaining why he's not the NFL's greatest player of all time. I don't disagree with you. This is a quote from Brady. I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I'll tell you why. I know myself as a player. I'm a really great product of what I've been around, who I've been coached by, who I've played against in the era I played in. I do really believe a lot of people who are in my shoes, they can accomplish the same amount of things. I've just been very fortunate. And that's essentially the end of it.
This boils down to whether or not football players can be considered the greatest athletes of all time. If that's not the case, then you have guys like Tom Brady, Robin Gronkowski, Barry Sanders.
If you accept Maverick Carter's definition of what describes greatness as consistency over a long period, consistent top-end performance over long periods of time, I think you still can, using that definition, achieve that as a football player.
Yes, if you're talking about consistency, but if you're taking LeBron James,
athletic specimen of all time, I don't think NFL players are likely to fit that bill.
Because they don't last as long as other athletes do in sports, like for example basketball, baseball, and even hockey. In football, you last half of that because of how rough the sport is.
That's being generous.
Right, and then because of how rough the sport is, and if you want consistency, because you could look at some of these players who say that are great the last 30 years. Like you could look at, for example, was it Larry Johnson, the running back for. He broke the record for rushing touchdowns that season, but he lasted like half a
soccer, whatever. I guess I don't know. I guess on the surface, it seems.
We're taking a look at Pete Prisco's top 100 NFL players, and to do just that, we're going to welcome in the man himself, CBS Sports senior NFL columnist, Pete Prisco. All right, Pete, we've got your top 10 on the board right now. What really stands out to you here?
Well, I think when you look at the 1 and 2, the quarterback situation, a lot of people say, hey, Tom Brady might be the greatest quarterback of all time, and he probably is. But I have Aaron Rodgers #1 because I think right now Aaron Rodgers is a better football player at the quarterback position than Tom Brady. Other things that stand out, J.J. Watt at
Currently?
Yes.
Absolutely.
#4. Look, he's coming off a back injury, but he's healthy again. When he's on the field, he's one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the league. And #10, Rob Gronkowski, same situation. Coming off an injury, but he's healthy again. When those two guys are on the field, they are 2 of the 10 best players in the NFL.
Pete, who's a player who's really rising up this year?
Yeah, Joey Bosa, the defensive end for the San Diego Chargers. As a rookie last year, had 10.5 sacks in 11 games. Remember, he missed time. He held out. It took him a while to get going. But this kid is a productive player. And when you talk to scouts, personnel people, players around the league, the name they mention as the next great defensive player in the NFL is Joey Bosa.
And lastly, I have to ask you this one, Pete. Which player do you think is really going to stir up some controversy?
Well, I think it's Chris Harris being the top-ranked corner on the board. I mean, this is a kid who plays outside.
Have you seen Tom Brady's combine tapes? He's not a great athlete. He's a great football player, but he might as well be Bambi running.
He plays inside for the Broncos. He's done a lot of really good things. He's been to the Pro Bowl the last couple of years, and yet he doesn't get the
Tom Brady has had the
recognition that some of the other big-name corners do, guys like Richard Sherman, guys like Patrick Peterson. But when you watch the tape,
yes, by that definition, Tom Brady is one of the greatest athletes.
Chris Harris has been a very, very, very good corner in the National Football League.
As a display of ultimate human performance, he's not.
There's also
Thanks so much for joining us, Pete. To catch all of Pete's top 100, be sure to check out his article on CBSSports.com.
I mean, it can go hand in hand. Obviously, it goes hand in hand. I mean, athletes are
in
players.
most sports, yes.
Yes, athletes are players and players are athletes. But Tom Brady's going to show that you can be the best player of all time
Not be the best athlete.
and not be the best athlete. And we've seen it. We've seen it many times too.
I mean, look at some of the best players of all time in like baseball, for example. David Ortiz is not a good athlete,
But he can hit the
could
ball.
go down as one of the most clutch hitters of ever. You look at arguably the best hitter of a generation, Miguel Cabrera. He is not a good athlete.
Same thing for Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols is not a good athlete.
What if
Look at some of the high-end pitchers like
Randy Johnson.
technology gave us the power to turn this enemy into an ally?
Of all time, did play baseball, and that was Bo Jackson.
Right.
Bo Jackson.
I mean, Bo Jackson isn't going to go down as one of the greatest.
Microsoft and its partners are using
You say the same thing for Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders is another one. Deion Sanders is a far better football player than he was a baseball player.
Oh yeah.
And is in
smart traps to capture mosquitoes and sequence their DNA to fight disease. There are over 100 million pieces of DNA in every sample.
you don't have to be the best athlete, or sometimes the best athletes don't equate as.
With the Microsoft Cloud, we can analyze the data faster than
I think there has to be some. You have to distinguish this and not look at it on the surface as being a slight towards Tom Brady.
Oh no, this is not an. At the same time, it's just a lack of a common definition of what we're arguing about here. Is where
ever before. If we can detect new viruses before they spread,
lies, there isn't a commonly accepted definition of what what an athlete is, and let alone what a great one is. I mean, if you take the Maverick Carter,
we may someday prevent outbreaks before they begin.
pinnacle of human performance, or somewhere in between, or a mixture thereof. And as long as there's no agreement on that, you'll never be able to even attempt to establish the ultimate standard. Who's the standard bearer? That's even before you.
Dave, we knew that the Jets were either going to trade or release Eric Decker. Why? Because they told us so. Well, it turns out that they released Decker, could not find a trade partner for him, so Decker now
Big
out
shock.
there, Dave, on the market.
Shocking they couldn't find a trade partner for a veteran wide receiver who is coming off of shoulder.
The ultimate pinnacle of human performance is because there's so much many different things that the human body can do, and how do you weight them? Is swimming more important than running?
I think so.
Surgery, among other problems that he's had. And look, Decker's always been a very, very good #2 wide receiver, not necessarily a #1 guy. He proved that when he went to the Jets. Bloated contract when he went to Gangrene, had 5 touchdowns in his first year, but then with Brandon Marshall in the second year, big numbers. And now it looks like the Jets are just trying to
Another distance guy. You know, Usain Bolt is very good at running.
save as much money as they possibly can by cutting him now.
And Dave, you're absolutely right. There's no surprise they couldn't find a trade partner, especially since the Jets made it clear that they were not going to move on with Eric Decker on their team. So why give up a pick when you know the guy's going to get released? So now that he has been released, where do you think would be the best landing spot for him as far as it concerns fantasy football?
Well, if it concerns fantasy football, then we can talk about a lot of places, and I'd like to see him go somewhere.
Sprinters in, like, if you're running a 200-meter race, you got to be
Detroit, where he could work in the slot right away. Baltimore is another interesting option, but
Even
I don't
with
think
the
that's
Macklin signing?
I don't think that's good for fantasy, but that's what we keep hearing. There's a couple of other places. I think Los Angeles would be good for the Rams. I have to say Rams or Chargers.
Yes.
There's two teams in Los Angeles now. With the Rams, he would be a nice veteran presence, and I think he'd get a lot of targets.
no.
I don't. To be honest, I
Look at some of the guys that play rugby.
right. You know, I think like
I think he might be good enough to be a number 3 receiver in a place like that, even though they'd be playing from behind. My guess is that
because they play those unique sports that
Decker's going to want to go to a place where he can work in a nice role, try to help win a championship.
Say, for
New
example,
England.
for football, instead of running the 100 yards, or you're not consistently running 100 yards in football, whatever. But for track, obviously, long distance runs, you're running for 2.5 hours straight almost, or like the you could say pole vaulting or whatever, like just your balance you have to keep on that pole to jump 19 feet in the air.
It's different levels of specialization.
Right, exactly. I feel that people are sort of like who do stuff like that is more of the better athlete than say, you for example, LeBron James talking or something like that.
I think that, quite honestly, I think LeBron, if you want to do an ultimate level of human performance, LeBron James in his athletic prime, give him 6 months to train on something, I bet you can complete pretty much anything on the world scale.
You look at it, he could probably get a full ride for football when he came.
He would have been an NFL player.
Yes, you possibly could say the same thing for baseball. Because he was actually really good with baseball too. If he puts his mind to it, he's a big dude.
He's a little. I would hesitate to prescribe the success of baseball to him just because he's too damn tall.
I'm just saying, if he put his mind to it,
Best baseball players on the earth are about.
I'm saying
They could find a spot.
okay, you could say Randy.
Could you put him at third base?
No.
Probably not. No,
LeBron James is a right fielder or first baseman.
No, he'd be a
He's got a.
moot point at this point.
I mean, they over the weekend, Bryce Harper gunned somebody out at the plate.
This breaking news comes to you live from the Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loan Studio. Dave, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Jeremy Macklin, has signed a 2-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens.
And he's going to go to Baltimore, and I think he's going to end up competing for that slot role there because Brashad Perryman, outside receiver Mike Wallace, typically does his work on the outside. Macklin will provide depth as far as outside receivers go. But we saw him work in the slot a little bit more than normal last season with Kansas City, and I think he'll try and recreate that role for the Ravens. Obviously gives them some good veteran depth and obviously helps replace all the pass catchers that they've lost this offseason. Steve Smith retired. Kamar Aiken left for the Colts. Dennis Pitta cut from the team after he got hurt. A lot of targets for the taking.
How about the fantasy impact of Jeremy Macklin in the Charm City catching passes from Joe Flacco?
I know that Macklin's a popular name. I know that he's been a hero for fantasy owners before, but I just don't see him becoming that guy again for the Ravens, not without an injury to Perryman or Wallace. Those are still the top 2 guys in Baltimore.
For more on this breaking news, Jeremy Macklin signing with the Ravens and all things NFL and fantasy. Keep it locked here, CBS Sports.
Are you talking about up there with Bryce Harper?
Like the Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. It's just athletes. Maybe a Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, no one's kind of up there. I mean, he doesn't run as good as they do.
Okay, fine. Charlie Blackmon.
The way he's been playing right now, yeah, you could say that.
Or like the guy that like a Kevin Kiermaier, who's a really nice athlete.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Anyway,
but not going to be the best player of all time. Look at Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth is obviously one of the best players of all time.
And he was
You could say the same thing with Pete Rose.
cigar smoking guy with a beer gut.
Again, Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, like you're saying, Shawn. I mean, baseball players is probably the worst example for something like this.
I mean, look at the guys that had.
Look closely. Hidden in every
Great athletes. Prince Fielder, Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn was awesome.
Frank Thomas was.
swing, every chip, and every putt is data that can
Big man. Remember? Oh God, he
Richie
played.
Sexton.
make the difference between winning and losing. The Microsoft Cloud
CC Sabathia.
Chris
Bartola Colon.
Okay, remember? Bartola Colon was actually in decent shape until like.
helps the PGA Tour turn countless points of data into insights that transform their business
The Cardinals during the Pujols era. Yep. Dude was a fucking offensive tackle that played.
and will enhance the game for players and fans.
The Microsoft Cloud turns information into insight.
He didn't get like untenably slow until his late 30s. But yeah, I mean, not great athletes, but great ball players. Another name that just comes to mind, Andres Galarraga, the big cat.
Yeah, baseball is the best.
For CBS Sports, I'm Jorge Hernandez, and we're talking Jason La Canfora's Hot Seat Index, the quarterback edition, and where 14 starters could be playing elsewhere in 2018. Let's focus on Drew Brees, and Jason La Canfora joins us now. He's on your scalding hot seat here. Jason, explain.
Well, look, this won't be his last.
I'm just saying. But it doesn't have anything out of baseball in high school or anything. When did you play baseball? I thought he did. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. Shawn might have been wrong.
Yeah, I said maybe I'm wrong.
Only if you could get him to admit that he was wrong for buying a camper.
No, why am I wrong for that?
When are we going camping?
You don't camp, so you're never going to go camping.
Can we go to Camp Dearborn?
Well, I'm
that's
not bringing
glam-
my camper down here.
It's glamping.
If you're going to camp,
Sean,
you're going to go north of me.
Sean, Camp Dearborn is like 5 minutes from your house.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
You know where Camp Dearborn is?
No, I really don't. Where's that?
The other end of Milford Road.
Oh, I'm thinking of up north. That's what I'm thinking.
No.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm like. What are you talking about? I'm like,
Sean, Camp Dearborn is 5 minutes from your
yeah.
house.
Let's go to Camp Dearborn in your camper.
I'm not bringing my camper.
That's glamping, man.
What about Kensington?
I'm still not bringing my.
You were
camper
doxing
down.
this poor man.
Isn't that the point though? Like to bring your camper down here and then go drive it somewhere?
I'm gonna drive it up north, farther north than where I have it at.
Where is it right now?
It's up in my parents' place in Oscoda.
Nice golf up there.
What?
Nice golf in Oscoda.
Oh hell yeah! Think what's yours. Representing. You know what? You suck.
Hey, we have progressed past that point as a human species of needing to camp or live in lifestyle camping. It's the same thing like running long distances. We have evolved past it as a species, and it's no longer necessary. Stop doing it.
I couldn't agree more with that thought.
Are you going to be chased by a wild animal that will eat you if you can't run very fast for a very long time?
Possibly.
The answer is no.
Possibly. Let's go up north. We're gonna go up north in the woods and see what happens.
You have this thing called superior firepower.
Yeah.
You don't need to be able to run away.
Shawn, do you have a slingshot?
When I was a kid, I'd probably still have it at my parents' house somewhere.
Really?
Why?
I was wondering because
Did you?
No.
What? How did you have a slingshot when you were a kid?
Because I wasn't Dennis the Menace.
Because he was civilized.
That's true. You obviously you guys were in civilization. I wasn't.
Yeah,
Not really. Not me. Not really.
Okay. You were still
Not
close.
quite,
You
not
were still
quite as
close.
middle of nowhere as you.
You were still close enough to civilization where you could drive 20 minutes and make it there on time. You do something.
Yeah, you're right.
I wasn't. 20 minutes driving down the road from where I grew up at. It's
You
like,
get to
okay,
your
we're
neighbor's
still, we're still in the middle of the BFE.
All right.
What you got?
Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into our. Are you guys ready for bitches and badasses?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me get some music going here.
on, man. Rookie.
Yeah. I need to give you the board. So
No, because Tim Tebow would be gone.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, you were not allowed to have the board.
I'll give Shawn the board.
Okay, there'd be so much random shit going on. To be honest, I think it'd probably be better if you just kept it because I would just be playing random stuff all the time.
I would just boot back up Gus Johnson, get the bucket stack.
Because I would every 20 minutes I just play Tim Tebow just to piss Dorf off.
No, you wouldn't know what you're doing. We'd be getting like some advertisements or something coming off from your computer.
You probably would. I'm like, what the hell's going on right now?
I know Gus Johnson gets buckets.com is gone now, but somebody else has booted it back up on soundboard.com. It's great.
All right, you guys. Let's get into second half of the show tonight. Fact or fiction. Starting off with Sidney Crosby. Mario Lemieux said last night after the Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup that Sidney Crosby, and by the way, Sidney Crosby won
Conn Smythe back-to-back.
Conn Smythe back-to-back seasons or playoffs as the most valuable player in the playoffs.
And it's not his only two that he's won.
Did he win?
Yeah, he won.
Did he win in 09?
Yeah, he won in 09, Game 7 against the Red Wings.
I'm assuming he probably won in 09.
He did. He was there. 09.
I know he was there.
Yeah.
Malkin won in 09.
What did he win in 09? Okay, so Crosby has 2. Sidney Crosby should be considered among the elite of all time in the NHL. Fact or fiction? Fact. I agree. Sidney Crosby is going to go down.
By the way, he's also set another record. He's the first team to lead the league, or first guy to lead the league in goals in the regular season to win the Stanley Cup in the same season.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Want another weird, interesting fact too about the Penguins?
Go ahead.
Matt Murray, goaltender, still considered a rookie, has 2 Stanley Cup rings.
Impressive. Impressive.
The last player to do that was a Pittsburgh Penguin as well. I can't remember who it was though.
So obviously he didn't play enough games to be considered as
in the previous season. Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, Dorf, you know, we were talking about the expansion draft that's coming up soon.
Yes, sir. They can't protect him.
Yes, they can.
Is he?
Because Marc-Andre Fleury waived his no-trade clause back in February.
Whoa.
So
those lucky son of bitches.
So they could very well end up keeping both of them, but Marc-Andre Fleury is
eligible to be exposed.
He's eligible.
He's halfway hoping they claim.
I think. Well, that's why he did it.
Yeah.
I think he knows that his time.
Because it was after the trade deadline, right? The regular season trade deadline.
In February, no, that would be before.
Oh, okay.
The trade deadline.
He was just trying to get out of there. I want to start again.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. Anyways, what else do we have next? David Price is punching his ticket out of Boston. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. No one's gonna take a troublemaker with 6 years and $180 million left on his deal.
And plus, you look at it too, the way he's pitching. So he's not pitching well.
He does have a little bit of a track record now with the media.
At the same time, when he was here in Detroit, he did go after Lynn Henning.
No,
but it wasn't for like bullshit reasons either. Lynn Henning is a quack and was writing some bullshit.
Now, look, I will be a defender of media.
In most cases.
But look, what's that old what was that old Chris Rock stand-up thing with OJ when he was like, it's so bad when he was sitting there talking about it, he's like, look, if I'm not saying that OJ Simpson should have killed his wife, but when she's riding around in my car with some other guy, I understand. There's something like that. It was so bad. Oh, it's Chris Rock.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying with David Price and Lynn Henning being here in Detroit, I understand. I don't know. Shawn, is he punching his ticket out of Boston?
No, I kind of agree with Dorf fiction because I like there's this nobody's gonna want somebody like that. You know, if he was pitching better and if he wasn't coming back from an injury, yeah, then I could say fact maybe, but
winning ultimately cures all, and none of this would be a problem if he was good. If he had a good season last year, he didn't start this year.
True.
There wouldn't be the animosity there.
All right. Next up, we have Draymond Green needs to shut the fuck up after what he said about Cleveland. Is he giving them bullet board material, or is this ultimately good for the series and the NBA, creating those rivals?
Things to talk about. It is bulletin board material, but ultimately, it's not going to matter if Golden State's just honestly, if it wasn't 8-5 last game, the series would be over.
So
Fiction.
I'm gonna go with fiction too. I'm like, it really doesn't matter because how amazing the Warriors are.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I love the type of player that Draymond Green is.
No, it's true, and he can play. He can do that when he can back himself up.
Look, basketball needs this
Mm-hmm.
this sort of thing. It was getting too friendly.
Basketball,
It was getting.
bad boy, man.
It was
You
getting.
know what? All that friendliness, the buddy after after defeats and stuff like that. That's over, man. You don't see that anymore.
No,
Right.
you don't.
You can partially thank Draymond Green for that.
Absolutely. And then finally, the Predators will be contenders next season. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, because more than half the NHL makes the playoffs. Duh. That's a super shallow analysis of that situation. Yeah, I think they have the ability to, be continuing contenders. They've got the right pieces coming back, and you know what? Young players are also going to be around too. So
Pecorini, PK Subban. Yeah, and they've got.
Subban's really nice.
Oh,
especially now that he's out of Montreal, and he doesn't have to worry about all that. The Lord and Savior of the Montreal Canadiens. He can now just be a hockey player. I think that's great for him.
Yep, and then that's gonna do it. I do want to get. I am a little anxious to get to this stupid shit of the week because, and you know what? I mean, again, I know a lot of people are out there praising Jeff Van Gundy for what he said about. It was very, very random what when he decided to start ranting about Khloe Kardashian and her supposed effect on Tristan Thompson, him not playing all that well. Like I said, it was very, very random. Anyways, this is what he said.
A lot in this series, the debate about why Tristan Thompson has not played well. And he hasn't played well. But the debate about whether his significant other, Khloe Kardashian, and the Kardashian curse is the reason, to me, is downright low rent. My thing is this. When LeBron James struggled in 2011 in those finals, did we say it was his significant other that caused him to not succeed? Or last year with Steph Curry, was it Steph Curry's wife when he didn't play up to standard? No, this Kardashian shaming is because she's an easy target. And I don't know her or her family, but I do know this. She deserves an apology for anybody who participated in that type of debate.
And I couldn't agree with you more. It's total disrespect, and it is low rent. We are better than that.
Okay, hold on a second here. Hold on 1 second. Jeff Van Gundy was getting a lot of praise for what he said there. If that's what you're going to be going off of then, if you're going to be going off of that notion right there, that idea that significant others can't play a role into how you perform on the court, then nobody better ever say anything about the media ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever. No, you can't say. You cannot say that the media is going to cause you problems ever again. And look, Khloe Kardashian and the Kardashians in general, I couldn't disagree more regarding this. You cannot compare the Kardashians, whether it's Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, or any of the other ones.
The Associated Jenners.
You cannot equate them to Steph Curry's wife.
Curry.
You cannot equate them to LeBron James's wife. You want to know why? Because they're
not celebrities in their own.
Yes, they don't strive for the spotlight. They don't have a reality TV show with cameras being put in your face at all hours of the day. You cannot equate the two. So, if Tristan Thompson isn't playing well and he's dating a Kardashian, it's not unreasonable at all to equate the two together and think, maybe it is one of the Kardashians that is causing some problems here just because of who they are. Just because of, look, they're fame whores. That's who the Kardashians are. And I'm not just.
And you know what? They've rocked that to the nth degree.
Absolutely.
It's made them millionaires times over. And you know what? They found their niche. They found their marketplace of people are willing to pay money to watch their shit.
And they're going to keep
buy
doing
their
it
shit.
and doing it and doing it.
There's no reason for them not to.
Right.
But at the same time, this idea that, you know, Tristan Thompson somehow, you know, that's, you know, out of bounds, unfair game to even bring that up. Look at the amount of star athletes that a Kardashian has attached themselves to, and arguably negatively affected their career.
Yeah.
I mean, how many has there been? Chris Humphries, Reggie Bush. Who else am I forgetting?
Lamar Odom.
Yeah, so don't forget about Lamar Odom.
I mean, I'm not saying the Kardashians are directly responsible for his downward spiral, but when you
indicate that they were a positive influence.
No, when you look at the track record, is it fair game to say, okay, maybe they had a play into Lamar Odom basically almost killing himself because of drugs and whatnot?
It's easy for an NBA player to be outside of the spotlight during the offseason and just do you.
And you know what, this
decompress and relax. Not when you've got reality TV cameras shoved in your face.
And you know what, this is nothing. This isn't a male or female thing either. Male counterparts, male spouses can be just as big of a distraction as a female counterpart. So this isn't a sexist thing or a misogynist thing or anything like that. This is I'm talking strictly about who this family is and the track record they have had of just striving for that attention. They have a fucking reality TV show, people.
They've had for what, a decade?
I'm
pretty close. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's.
I'm pretty sure it was on when I was in high school.
I know it was on when I was in middle school.
So yeah, I'm like, so it's been a decade. It's been a decade.
So I really don't understand why Jeff Van Gundy is getting this type of. You know what that seems like? It seems like easy pickings right there. Oh, you want to play the good guy here and say it's not somebody's spouse. Yes, it's not somebody's spouse.
You're gonna get all morally indignant. How dare you? How dare you pick on the women and the children?
When it has nothing to do with women and children in this sense. It has everything to do with who this family is.
You know what? It's not necessarily causation, but there's definitely correlation there. Since they've been in a public relationship, and he's got a contract extension, his play has gone downhill. There's two overwhelming factors in there. He got paid. I'm not gonna. An easy pun is he got paid and he got laid, but but he got paid, got a famous girlfriend. And guess what? Play's gonna. You know what? He's the weakest link out of that starting five. Can't keep him out there a lot of the time. He's a max contract player. Can't be having that.
Nope. Anyways, fan question of the night. Who's the best? Who's going to be the best of this cycle of champions this summer? The Pittsburgh Penguins, the Golden State Warriors, if they win tonight, or tomorrow, or Game 6, or Game 7 if it gets to it, or the Cavs if they win Game 7. Who is the best?
It's going to be whoever triumphs in the NBA. Hockey, as I would say, a above average connoisseur of sports in general. You know how much of the NHL playoffs I watched? Bagel. How much the NBA playoffs I've watched quite a bit of the NBA playoffs, specifically since the conference finals. Honestly, it's more entertaining, and the Warriors are essentially on a 3-year run of almost unprecedented greatness. If they can get the job done, you could say that it's almost unprecedented greatness. They set the individual season record, and they now get a job last night doing undefeated in the playoffs. Even to go 16-1 in the playoffs, running through LeBron.
You think they got jobbed? Considering the final score of that game, you think they got jobbed?
When you're down so much early because of just the lopsided officiating, yeah, I think they got jobbed. Because then you got to start gambling and doing shit you normally wouldn't do in an attempt to come back and overcome
I am. I'm going to put this for me. If the Cavs win, they're up top.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because then you've overcome not a 3-1 deficit, a 3-0 deficit.
3-0 deficit 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. With the best player in the game, that's what's going to get remembered more.
Mm-hmm. Especially to be able to do that back to back.
You know what I put second? I put the Penguins second. Back to back champions. Doing it in the salary cap era. Mm-hmm. I think there's something to be said about that. I can very much appreciate what the Warriors are doing.
But with a team like that, they should be doing that.
Yeah, and in a sense, too, I mean, the Penguins should be doing what they're doing, considering they have a very well-structured team themselves. However, the Warriors are still better when you draw the parallel between the two sports. Mm-hmm. I certainly think that the Penguins, it's fair to say they had a tougher road to the Stanley Cup final this year. I don't know, maybe that's being unfair. I don't know, but I put the Penguins number 2 on that list, and then the Warriors. If the Warriors would have went undefeated in the playoffs, which I think is more impressive than going. Than setting a wins record in the regular season, then I would have to think the Warriors would be up there.
Yeah, because that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, but they didn't do it, and they've got one loss in the playoffs, which is still amazing. Yeah, but when this is all said and done, when we're looking 10 years from now, is anybody really going to be remembering this Warriors team as one of those historic teams of all time? I don't know if they necessarily are, to tell you the truth.
I think, in my opinion, that they will remember that because obviously, you look at the year before when they broke the record for, most wins in a regular season. They're going to see that and still pretty much almost the same team besides, adding Kevin Durant. But, I think they're still going to remember them as like one of the all-time best basketball teams out there.
Okay. Dorf, do you have anything else to add?
I don't.
Okay. All right. Anyway, let's close things out with the news tonight. We talked a little bit about Draymond Green earlier. Here he is doubling down his marks towards the city of Cleveland, which, look, I'm not going to kill him for, just because I'm not a big fan of Cleveland myself.
I don't think anybody's a fan of Cleveland besides people who live in Cleveland.
Have you ever seen the Hastings? You guys, I'm sure, have seen the Hastings make Cleveland tours.
Yeah, you've shown it to me like a million times.
4 after the technical that wasn't a technical on Draymond. We saw him egging on the Cleveland crowd and making friends in the Ohio. He then said maybe they weren't the smartest people in the world. Maybe he had some time to think about it over the last 48 hours. Then again, maybe not.
Draymond, do you ever see the stuff that you say and say, maybe I shouldn't have said that?
Absolutely not. Because everything I say, I know what I'm saying. When I say something, I've thought about what I'm going to say before I say it. So, no, I never look at something and say, man, I shouldn't have said that. Because I'm a lot smarter than people think. When I say something, I've already thought about how I was going to say it. So, absolutely not.
So the emotions were running high the other night. What's the gain of bashing Cleveland fans?
I didn't bash them. I just gave my thoughts.
Well, saying they're not sharp is bashing.
Well, they booed me and they thought I had a tech I didn't have, so that wasn't sharp.
It was on the box show. Everybody thought you had that tech.
I knew I didn't, so maybe I'm just a little sharper than others then, huh? I don't know. But they played Hit the Road, Jack, and I didn't have to hit the road, so I didn't think that was that sharp. But maybe you thought that was sharp.
Well, I was looking at the box score.
I was looking at reality, and I knew I wasn't ejected.
Dorf, you're a Michigan State connoisseur here.
That's what I was about to say real quick. I'm like, when they said, oh, maybe he had thoughts about it over 40 hours, I'm like, no, he's had the thoughts about Ohio fans since 5 years ago.
He's from Saginaw, right?
He's from Saginaw, man.
Yeah, he's from Michigan. And he played for Michigan State. I'm sure he's always hated Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Dorf, has he always always had this type of attitude even when he was in college?
Tom Izzo had a shepherd's hook around him to control him a little bit. Yeah, he was a little indignant.
All right. Well, Jose Bautista takes.
This was actually pretty cool.
He took second on a walk as he, pretty much helped sum up the Mariners' season thus far.
He gets to first, and for some reason he decides to keep running.
He sees Tony not looking at him. It's a stolen base.
But the middle infielders, they didn't go to the bag either.
Go Mariners.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw Mike Milbury was taking some heat in Nashville after he said that after Game 5, he said that PK Subban had basically his head getting driven into the ice by Sidney Crosby. He had it coming. Well, unsurprisingly, the Nashville Predators fans took exception to that and let him have it after their Game 6 loss, which I'm assuming they were probably still a little salty about in the direct aftermath. Anyways, here we are with the
improvement of sorry, got a little help in the background.
Yeah,
startled
your fan club is still here.
Crosby was never better than he was in this series. Terrific, and I think the unsung heroes were the defense.
Oh jeez.
Oh man,
that is funny.
It's again, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mike Milbury had that comment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mike Milbury definitely had that comment. And finally, here's Shawn in the icy chugging contest. I believe this is at the Louisville Redbirds game or the Memphis Redbirds game.
Oh my gosh.
Shawn is on the right.
I better be on the right. That's a girl on the left.
That looks like him from Sandlot.
Yeah.
This seems like something.
6, 5, 4. And time. All right, we're going to stop. And let's see. All right, let's open Kinley's. There's Kinley. What do you think, Rock?
There we go.
He's wearing a Masters hat, man.
He is wearing a Masters hat.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. We should have a Slurpee chugging contest in here.
No, we shouldn't. That seems like you and Dorf can do
Dorf's
that.
not gonna do it.
No.
Dorf's not a man.
Slurpees are things to be savored, not chugged.
No, they are things to be. Actually, I'm with you. I'm with you, Dorf.
I love Slurpees.
I like Slurpees too.
You wanna go get one after here?
No.
Why?
I gotta upload all the.
You just said you love Slurpees too.
Yeah, I love Slurpees, but I've got shit to do tonight,
Dude,
man.
he's asking you out on a date.
I am.
We went on a date last weekend.
I know. I just miss it already.
Which I had to pay for.
What kind of gentleman are you, Shawn? Jeez.
What a jerk.
What a jerk. Seriously. Anyways. Is it confirmed? Are we moving to Sundays next week?
So next week?
I believe so. I think we don't have it, settled on the start time, but yes, I think we're moving to Sunday start.
Okay. What I'm going to say then is, everyone out there, stay tuned on our Facebook page, social media, and whatnot as we